Hi there, I'm Budda and you're watching Dr. Guitar, a show for all you guitarists out there. In today's episode, I will be talking about how to get gigs, how to play, how to be a professional musician. Well, this is a number of tips for you to earn more money, get more gigs, and be in the business. Tip number one, you have to go where the music is. If you're staying at home, no one will call you for a gig. That's as simple as that. You need to go to watch shows, to see other people perform, to go to clubs, to go to rehearsal rooms, but mostly to go to shows. The great thing of going to gigs is that you learn with the other musicians how to make better performances, because if you are watching them perform, you will get a sense of what you like when you see them perform and what you don't like. And that's also very important, to know what not to do, not just what to do. And going to gigs will get you in the spot where music happens. You'll probably get to know other musicians, you'll get to know promoters, you get to know managers, you get to know the bar and club and venue owners. So you're in the spot and you make friendships and you make relationships and you open a new world of possibilities. Don't stay at home complaining that no one hires you, because if no one knows you, no one will hire you, for sure. That's for sure, okay? So be aware, be active, be proactive, and you will get a lot more gigs with that. Second tip, study your niche. It depends on the music you play, and especially, most of all, the music you want to play. My advice to anyone is always to do what you like to do, because you will be a lot better doing what you love than doing a thing just for money or just to get gigs. So focus on what you want to play, which style. And then the market, the business, the music industry is very strict when it comes to styles, to genres. If you want to play funk, play funk. And go to the venues that have funk shows. But don't mix your funk with ska, heavy metal, classical, and flamenco music. This way you will be making it a lot more difficult for you to get gigs, especially if you are starting up. I'm all in favor of blending musical genres and mixing cultural influences. I do it a lot, but I have 3 bands at this moment. I have Budda Power Blues, which is a blues trio with a power, it's a power trio, so it's a power blues trio. We don't play classic blues, we don't play 50s style blues, we play power blues. So we fit wherever power blues is fittable. But we also make an effort, if we are playing a very hardcore purist blues festival, we make an effort to play the bluesier songs in our set, and we have it. We have straight shuffles and that, but we don't play in Brazilian musical festivals. So, since I really love Brazilian music, I have Trio Pagu, which is my bossa nova MPB trio, and we play jazz festivals, we play Brazilian musical festivals and venues. Then I really love funk, James Brown, soul music, I have Dona Carioca, which is a funk band with a Brazilian singer, and we play those kind of venues. If I was to make a band that played all the three genres, I wouldn't play in any of the venues, because I would some songs would fit, some other wouldn't fit. So find your niche, find what makes a thing that you like to do, a genre that you like to play, and specialize. Make yourself an expert on that subject, on that style, so you can fit the booking agencies' demands. Okay. Tip number 3: find the thing that's unique in you or in your band, as an artist, as a musician, as a songwriter, as a performer. You need to have something that no one has. Otherwise, why would people want to hire you? If you're the same as everybody, you will make no difference, and you have a huge competition. If you are unique, you don't have competition, because if people want that thing you really do well, they will have to hire you. So find what really makes you different and try to make a difference. Don't be just a copycat. Don't try to be Muddy Waters if you want to play blues. Don't try to be James Brown if you want to play funk. Don't try to be Metallica if you want to play metal. Try to create something unique and something special, so the promoters and the booking agents want to hire you. That's super important. And of course we all have our influences. Of course we all have our icons and our idols, but you need to be different. And the moment you find the difference, you will be that guy that does that specific thing. That's super important. Another tip: be there on time. If you arrange it to be there at, let's say, 5 p.m., be there at 4:45 or 4:55 if you want. But be there on time. People will value your time if you value their time. And people will be a lot more comfortable working with you, knowing that you are reliable and that you get there on time and things get done on time. That's super important. It's very important. Another tip, which is kind of related, is be reliable. You have to be a reliable guy. You have to be a guy that people can count on. And when I say a guy, I can also say a band. If your band, if you want to take it to the collective side of it, if your band is reliable, if everyone has good gear, shows up on time, shows up when a gig is booked, has it all in good conditions, and does a good show, people know that if they want a good show, they will hire you or your band, because they know you put on a good show. You're reliable. They can rely on you. If you do a great show today and a shitty show tomorrow, if you are not reliable, if you are not consistent, people won't hire you. As simple as that. And this leads us to another great tip that I've learned on my own by not doing it and realizing that you should do it. You never know who's watching you. You never know who is in the audience. You never know what can come out of a show. So every show you do, every gig you play, make it the best gig in your life. This looks like very romantic and very simple, But it is just like that. I have got gigs from playing in shitty places or in very small clubs that you think it's just a small gig. It doesn't mean a thing. And I've got very big gigs because there was a promoter on that day watching the show, looking for a band. And they watched us perform and were amazed and hired us for a fee that was 10 times more than we were earning on that club. Because they like what they see and because we put on a great show. If you have a shitty audience and you put on a terrible show, you are the only one responsible and you are the only one who will be paying for that, you know, because it's your show, it's not the audience show. So put on a fucking great show and people will love you for that. If you go to a bar or to a club or to a venue to play and there's 10 people watching you perform, those 10 people don't give a shit about you. But if you put on a hell of a show, if you are great, those 10 people will leave the place saying, my God, we were just 10 and those guys were rocking it like if they were in Woodstock. What an amazing band, what an incredible band. And probably, or maybe, one of those 10 people is a great promoter, or a great producer, or a guy in the radio, or a guy in TV, or a friend of a guy in the radio. You never know who's there. So do it for yourself. Be the judge of yourself. You have to put yourself in the audience perspective and try to think, would I like the show I'm watching? Would this be a good show if I was in the audience? Would I like myself? Would I like my band? What are we doing wrong? And this leads us to the next tip. Record your shows in video and watch it. Preferably watch it with your band. In the same room, go home, go to the rehearsal room and watch it. Today it's so easy to record a show in video. You don't need to record it in perfect conditions or perfect video or audio, but watch it and analyze what you're doing, criticize yourself, be your own critic, and try to be the audience when you watch yourself perform, and correct the mistakes for the next show so you can get better and better every show. That is very important. Another important thing is to get the correct dynamics and the correct stage volume. If you play in a jazz trio, in a bossa nova trio, you are not supposed to play very loud. You're supposed to play very acoustic and very balanced within the band. So you shouldn't need a PA system to play that. Just the back line should be enough, and it should sound like a record. If you play metal, you're not supposed to play softly and quiet. People who go to metal shows or to heavy rock shows want power, want roughness, don't want polite people, because who likes that genre likes roughness, likes power, likes heavy thing. That's why it's called heavy rock, because it's heavy. It's supposed to be heavy, not soft. So if you are playing a heavy rock band, you have to play it heavy. You have to have an attitude. You have to be on stage performing and be mean. Don't be like you are in the rehearsal room. And the dynamics and the stage volume has to be loud. Otherwise, people won't like it. As if you are in a blues band, you have to play accordingly to the venue you're playing. If you're playing in a club, you can't play stadium volume. Otherwise, you will kill all the people and you won't be hired again. Okay? Another tip you should follow, if you play in clubs especially, but it goes to any venue, any kind of show. But it's usually more obvious when you play bars or clubs or small venues that sell drinks and that make money from the drinks they sell. You need to get the guys from the club making money, selling drinks. They need to sell drinks in order to pay you. Of course, if they arranged with you a specific amount, they will pay you even if they don't make the money. Well, at least I hope they will pay you, but we all know that's not always the truth. But let's think that they are honest and that they will keep their word. They will pay you, but if they don't make enough money to pay you and to earn money for themselves, because they have a business too. It's not just you who are making a business and making a living out of music. They are making a living out of having live music and selling drinks. And sometimes selling tickets. If they don't make enough money to pay you and to earn money to get some profit out of the show, they won't hire you again. That's obvious, but a lot of musicians don't think that way. Everyone needs to get profit out of it. Business is only business if it is good for both sides. Well, if it is good for all sides, because your audience needs to be pleased and it's to say, man, I paid a €5 ticket or a $5 ticket for this show, but it was great. I would pay $10 or €10 to watch it again. 5 was really a great price for it. And I had a great time, and I will be coming next Saturday or next Friday or next whatever. And the owner of the club needs to go there at the end of the night and say, man, this band was really killing it. The music was great, and I sold a lot of tickets, a lot of drinks, and made myself a good amount of money. And you, as a musician, need to get out there and say, man, we killed it, we really played really good, and we got ourselves some money, we paid the guests, and we can have money for ourselves, to earn money, to pay our bills, and to make a living out of it. So everyone needs to be pleased, everyone needs to be satisfied. And this is very important. You need always to be thinking about that. If you are playing a club, don't end your show because you agreed that your show would end at a specific time. If the bar is killing it, if the people is having a lot of fun and having a huge party, and if you know that when you stop the music, when you stop playing, people will go away, you're making the club owner lose some money. In other words, if you keep on playing for a little more, the bar will get more money and will want to hire you. And of course, you have to use common sense. You wouldn't. It's not, if you're getting €75 as a fee for your show, you're not playing 10 hours. You're not playing 3 hours. Okay? It has to be. There has to be a balance in that. Okay? Another tip that I think it's very important, and people usually often forget it, is don't play for free. Don't play for free. Don't play for free. I hope you get it. If you don't value your time, your talent, and your work, no one will. No one will. I really mean it. If you play for free, the guy in the club doesn't give a damn about you. Doesn't care a thing. because he's not spending any money. So if no one comes, it's the same to him. No one come to the show. It's your fault. You're not a very well-known artist. So they won't promote your show. They won't be able to help you. They don't care if the sound of your show is good. They don't care if they have a PA system or not. They don't care. They just don't care. It's for free. They don't care. Of course, your fee, the amount you play, the amount you get for playing is proportional to your talent, but most of all, and really most of all, proportional to your status. If you are a very famous artist, you will be paid a lot more than if you are playing your first show. It's obvious. If you put it, for example, if you were an actor, if you are Russell Crowe or Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise, it's obvious you will get a lot more money doing the same job that me, for example, doing a Mission Impossible movie. If I was doing the Mission Impossible movie as my first work as an actor, because it would be my first work as an actor, I would be happy to do it for the traveling money. I would be very happy because I would have a huge exposure and I would be in a very huge movie. But Tom Cruise knows that he has to be paid, and the guys in the movie wants to have him, or Brad Pitt, or so. So the amount of money you get is not proportional to the amount of work you get. It's proportional to the amount of status you have, to the amount of people that are willing to come to the show and to pay and spend money to watch you perform. Okay? So if you're filling up a stadium of 60,000 people, even if they were wanting to pay just €1 or $1 to watch you perform, it would be 60,000 euros or $60,000. So your fee would be proportional to that. If you're playing a club that people are going there to have a drink, and they know there's a band in there, but they don't know and they don't care which band is in there, you will not be able to get $60,000 out of it, or 60,000 euros. I hope you get this, because sometimes people get very frustrated because they think, and usually even they play really good, they are really great musicians, and then they have the shitty music on the radio making millions, and you go to a show and make 50 bucks, 50 euros for the show, and you think, man, I have a $5,000 guitar, I have a €2,500 amp, I have 1,000 euros in pedals, I have 200 euros in cables, and I'm getting paid 50 euros for this show. And that monkey over there, that clown, who doesn't even know how to play an instrument, and his music is basic and crappy, is making millions. The world is all over, is all upside down. The world is crazy. No, it ain't. They're not being paid for the quality of their music. They are being paid because they get millions of people over there. And they get millions of people or thousands of people paying to see them. That's why they are getting paid. It's not because of their music. It's because of their fame, their status. And whether you like it or not, that doesn't matter. It's the same thing as fast food. It's a shitty food. It's bad for your health. But they are making millions selling it. Just live with it. That's what it is. That's how it is. And you can't do nothing about it. But I, for example, don't play for money. Money is not the thing that moves me. I'm coming from a Madrid tour, playing with my friend, and I'm coming home really happy by having done that. I having been played in Madrid for a week, 8 shows in 6 days, very hard working, and it was very rewarding. I don't care about the money I made. Of course, you know what I mean, but I don't care about the money I make. I didn't come here because of the money. I came here to play blues with other musicians, with other friends, to make friendship, to be good, to have a lot of laughs, to have a great time. Of course, my time is valuable, so I need to get paid, because I have to pay the rent, I have to pay the strings I use, I have to pay for my guitars, I have to pay for the trip. I need money to live, as you need money. But money is not the thing that makes me want to do this. That's the key. I told you, never play for free, but I also tell you, don't play for the money. Play for the music, play for the heart, play from the heart, play to make art, not heart. Well, both. Play for your soul. This gives, at least to me, this gives me so much pleasure. It's my life. It's what I love to do. Music is my life. Music is air I breathe. I never did it for the money. Unfortunately, I never did a gig that I didn't like. I never played music that I didn't like. And I made a real effort to never do it, because there's a lot of easy ways to play in bands that play in all those, well, play the 40 top 40 charts, or cover bands that you play whatever just to make people happy. I always want to make people happy when they leave my shows, but I want to do that with songs I love, with music that really makes me happy by playing it. So don't go for the money, and don't get excuses that, well, I'm doing this shitty gig, but it pays a lot, so it's great. Well, it's great, but it's not what you like to do. It's not what you dreamed to do, and it will never be, because you're spending your time in another thing. And this is another tip. If you want to be a musician, if you want to get gigs, you have to believe in it. You have to go after it. You cannot be a musician, a professional musician, and working nights and working on Fridays and Saturdays, working when you should be looking for gigs, or when you should be playing. You need to have time, you need to be available to have gigs. Otherwise, if you work on something else, you're making an effort. Well, let's for example, think you're working as an accountant. For example, you work from 9 to 7, at least in Portugal, that's the regular day work time, 9 to 7. When will you work in music? When you're tired from working from 9 to 7? Get what I'm saying? If you want to be a professional musician, you have to be professional. You have to be working from 9 to 7 with music. making music, rehearsing, songwriting, looking for gigs. You have to invest your energy and your time in your music. Otherwise, you won't be a professional musician. I'm sorry, but you won't. This takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and being a musician is not just playing. For you to be a musician, you need to go look for gigs, you need to go to other gigs, you need to be at jam sessions, you need to be with other musicians, you need to rehearse, you need to practice your improvising skills, you need to practice your instrument. It's a lot of work. It's a full-time job. It's not a hobby, but there's nothing wrong with facing music as a hobby. Nothing wrong. You just can't complain yourself if you don't get gigs, because you're not being professional if you're not doing that. If you're doing it as a hobby, you're having a hobby, and that's it. It's like playing soccer or snowboarding or skiing as a hobby. If you snowboard once a year because you love it and it makes you feel so good, you will never be a snowboarder. You will never be a guy that goes to championships and then to competitions, because you're not putting your time into it. You're putting your time into something else. So you're not being professional. Another great tip that helped a lot of friends and helped me too is to look for jam sessions of your genre and go to jam sessions. Go there to play, not only to play, but to look for other musicians that you might like. So if you're, for example, looking to start a band, you want to start a band of your own, you want to start playing your own music or a cover band or whatever, and you need a bass player and a drummer, for example. I'm just saying, it could be a oboe player and a piano player, whatever. It goes the same. If you go to a jam session, for example, I run a jam session every Wednesday, a blues jam session. If you want to be a blues musician, well, if you go to my jam session, first you got to meet me. I'm living from the blues. I'm a professional musician, so you can talk with me. And I'm not feeling like I am the thing, you know. I'm just saying I'm a professional musician, and you have the opportunity to ask me things in person. I'm available, and as I am available, other musicians are available, so you can go to them and ask for advice, look what they do. If they please you, if you like the music they are doing and the way they are doing, you can learn from them. But you can also meet other musicians. So you are a guitar player, which I hope you are because you're watching the show. You're a guitar player looking for a band. Start a band. You go to a jam session and there's this crazy drummer that you really love. And you even got to play a song with him and you really connected. Ask for his number, ask if he's available to play. You already have a drummer. Chances might be you find a bass player over there that really connects and is also looking for a band, right? So you go to him and ask him for his phone number, ask him. It's kind of date. It's Tinder, you know. You're looking for partners, but music partners. So you have to be looking where they are. If you're going to an hospital, it will probably be difficult for you to find musicians. So go to where musicians are. And in a jam session, you can watch them perform, you can hear them play. You can really know if they are a good match for you, if they fit the music that you want to do, if they fit the band that's in your head. And you end up playing. And better yet, you're showing the guys in the bars, in the clubs that are running a jam session, that people love live music. And no one can tell me the opposite. People love live music. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. All the shows I play are full of people that love it, that leave the shows happy that they went. So you, as a musician, need to be active, doing live music to prove others that live music is a great thing. And it is a great investment for the club. And if the jam session is packed, they will think, well, this is really great. And so much talent being on that stage. We should do shows. We should hire some bands. Which bands should we hire? Well, I really love that singer that came in a jam session. Does he have a band? Haha. Get it? If you're there, you will be remembered. Don't forget that, please. And don't be at home complaining there are no gigs. I've said this many times in this episode, but don't be complaining. The only one who's guilty of not having gigs is you. And as soon as you get that, you will be there working to get them. And you will be getting gigs. I assure you. I've done that. But it takes an effort, a huge effort. It takes time, it takes patience. You will hear 1,000 no's until you get a yes. But then your first yes might become 2 yeses because somebody watched your show and wants to hire you. And that's kind of a cycle. You get shows, bring more shows. That's it. Well, I could be here talking all day long, and I think I said enough. I hope it helped you. And that's it for today. Well, that's it. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's very simple. You just have to hit subscribe and nothing happens, but I get one more subscription and you'll be in touch and we will be in touch, and together we can do a lot better. The world and life is to share, not to conquer. Share it with the world, share it with everyone, and you'll be a lot happier. This is a very philosophical episode, but that's what I thought I needed to do. I hope I'll see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe and to share it. We'll see each other next week. Bye bye.